We are north of Budapest, entering one of more than a dozen locks along the Danube River. We are pulling in alongside another river cruise ship. Without these locks, the river would not be navigable for the large cruise ships. As the water in the lock lowers, 15 million gallons of river water will be stored in a chamber alongside, ready to fill up the lock for the next boat. Once empty, our boat will be lowered by 81 feet, just the right height to continue on our trip to Budapest. About 48 ships pass through this lock each day. And we are through. Our trip began with 3 days in Prague, whose 1,100-year-old town center is UNESCO World Heritage Site. After a bus ride to Passau, we boarded our Viking River cruise ship for a 7-day trip down the Danube River, stopping off to visit Linz and Salzburg, renowned as the setting for The Sound of Music and the birthplace of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Our next stop was Melk, and a visit to the opulent and visually stunning Benedictine Abbey, which was founded in 1089. Vienna, once the seat of the Holy Roman Empire and the Habsburg dynasty, was the undisputed center for music, art, and culture in Europe. Our next stop brought us to the winding cobblestone streets of the medieval city of Bratislava, capital of Slovakia. Budapest was our last stop, and perhaps the most photographic of the cities visited because the sun finally came out after 9 days of cloudy, rainy weather. Our cabin was very comfortable, providing a cozy place to spend time during the hours of cruising. In addition, the ship's facilities were quite luxurious, including the bar and meeting area, as well as the large dining room. Prague, with a population of 1.2 million people, has been a political, cultural, and economic center of Central Europe during its 1,100-year existence. It is not only the capital of the Czech Republic, but was once also the capital of the Holy Roman Empire. Segway tours are quite popular in Prague, as is the custom of placing a lock on this gate to seal a loving relationship. The gate is located just outside the Museum of Modern Art. Main attractions include the Prague Castle, the Charles Bridge, Old Town Square with the Prague Astronomical Clock, and the Jewish Quarter. The extensive historic center of Prague has been included in the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites. And we could not miss an opportunity to visit the magnificent Prague State Opera, built in the late 19th century. Tonight's performance is Rossini's comic opera, The Barber of Seville. Just outside of Prague is the Terrorism concentration camp, used by the Nazis during World War II to hold Jews and other prisoners until they were transported to the extermination camps at Treblinka and Auschwitz in occupied Poland. It was also used by the Nazis to shoot propaganda films, in order to fool the Red Cross into thinking that prisoners of war were treated humanely. That was far from the truth. Passau is a lovely city on the Danube, whose narrow streets and Gothic buildings are a delight to explore. However, the highlight of our tour was a visit to St. Stephan's Cathedral, a true masterpiece of Italian Baroque architecture. Organ concerts are held here daily, played on the second largest organ in the world, featuring 17,774 pipes. Salzburg, literally Salt Fortress, was the birthplace of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and the setting for Broadway musical The Sound of Music, which loosely chronicles the escape of the Von Trapp family from the Nazi army. Today, Old Town is internationally renowned for its Baroque architecture and is one of the best preserved city centers north of the Alps. It was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1997. A good way to photograph the entire city is to take a funicular ride up to Hohensalzburg Castle, nestled high above Old Town. The highlight of Milk and a visual treat for us was a visit to the Benedictine Abbey, founded in 1089 when Leopold II gave one of his castles to the Benedictine monks. A monastic school was founded in the 12th century, and the library soon became renowned for its extensive manuscript collection. With a population of 1.8 million people, Vienna is Austria's primary city and its cultural, economic, and political center. Apart from being regarded as the city of music, Mozart, Beethoven, Haydn, Strauss, and Schubert performed here. Vienna is also said to be the city of dreams because it was the home to the world's first psychoanalyst, Sigmund Freud. St. Stephan's Cathedral is the mother church of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Vienna. The current Romanesque and Gothic form of the cathedral was built in 1365 and stands on the ruins of two earlier churches. the 10th century, Bratislava became part of the Kingdom of Hungary, developing into a key economic and administrative center on the kingdom's frontier. In 1536, the city was designated the new capital of Hungary, becoming part of the Austrian monarchy and marking the beginning of a new era of prosperity. In 1993, a few years after the breakup of the USSR, Slovakia became an independent country, with Bratislava as its capital. To us, this is a delightful city, with winding streets, classical buildings, and whimsical street art. Today, Budapest is ranked as one of the most livable cities in Europe, attracting more than 4 million visitors a year. But it was not always so peaceful. Originally a Celtic settlement, it was occupied by Romans, then Hungarians, pillaged by Mongols, occupied by Turks and annexed to the Ottoman Empire, merged into the Austro-Hungarian Empire, ending with an unsuccessful revolution in 1956. As an enthusiastic supporter of Nazi Germany, Budapest was heavily bombed during World War II and was occupied by the USSR until 1989. The Great Synagogue of Budapest is the largest in Europe. It was built in 1859 in the Moorish style and decorated with Islamic models from North Africa and medieval Spain. The leaves of this courtyard sculpture are engraved with the names of the thousands of Jews murdered by the fascist government in Budapest near the end of World War II. Cruising through Budapest at night provides a visually stunning ending to a wonderful trip down the historic Danube River. Central Europe has always been the crossroad between the Middle East and Western Europe, enduring almost 2,000 years of war and occupation. I hope you have enjoyed this brief trip through a rich and culturally diverse region of the world.